What even is a technomancer? Technomancy is a term in science fiction and fantasy that refers to a category of magical abilities that affect technology, or to magical powers that are gained through the use of technology. It is a portmanteau of technology and mancy, a suffix used in magical sciences to refer to specific types of specialization or divination. A technomancer is one who practices technomancy. Thanks for watching this eventful episode of What Even Is. Yeah, but that's a joke. In all seriousness, this is the first episode of What Even Is, our first impressions series, where I'll talk about a game that I've picked up, my impressions of it, and we'll talk about various things. This is a first impressions series, so I am doing this live. The only thing I've looked at is the settings on the PC to make sure that this is going to run. So the gameplay portion will be my live first impressions of the game. But first, we're going to take a look around the menu. So here we have a guide that tells you a few things about character creation and some aspects of the game. I assume that that's also going to be in the game and not super important. So on the options, we have full key rebindings for the keyboard, which is nice. You can't rebind the gamepad at all, so the gamepad is just going to work the way that it works, and that's what you have to deal with. For controls options, you just have some, standard camera sensitivity, y-axis, and vibration. In game, we have difficulty, which it appears that you can't change out the gate. Tutorials, subtitles, damage display. Then you have horizontal and vertical UI position, which is a fairly nice option. Audio just has your standard, sliders for different aspects of the game. In video, we have different display modes: borderless window, windowed, and full screen, of course. Resolutions, which is locked in right now because I'm on borderless window, and that's my monitor's resolution. VSync, SSAA. Then you can change the quality of shadows, SSAO. Anti-aliasing types, which has disabled entirely, FXAA and TAA. Particle effect quality, texture quality, anisotropy, dynamic resolution, which is an interesting feature that allows for the game to actively change resolutions as you're playing it, and field of vision, which is a nice touch for a third-person game. Since I haven't actually played this yet, I'm not going to change this slider, at least not in this initial video. So then you've got, of course, you can change your brightness settings and look at the credits. All in all, this is a pretty robust options menu for a game like this. So I'm going to go ahead and click on New Game here. So this is where the difficulty happens. So I've heard that this game has some very strange difficulty spikes, and since I've not played this at all, I'm going to go on normal. Then we've got a loading screen, and we'll jump into what I assume will be character creation and my impressions of probably the first hour or so of the game in real time. I may split it into two videos, go ahead and just finish out character creation if it takes too long, and then
At the
switch
source
over.
of all life, there is water. On Mars, where it is rare, water is a source of conflict, struggle, and death. Since the turmoil, there have been unending wars, fought over the possession of clean water. We are the forgotten children of Earth, trapped in this red, barren wasteland. Here, hell is not a concept, it's our reality. And the reality is that every drop counts. Then there were the unfortunates, caught in the full power of the sun's radiation, forced to deform, mutate into unrecognizable monsters. The others, the ones who remained similar to our ancestors in likeness, hid under massive metal shells, governed by water corporations. But in the slums, people's lives aren't worth much more than the mutants. And I would know. That's where I spent the first 10 years of my life, under the boot of the Vori. Of course, in despair, there is hope. Some have begun to explore, travel even, from corporation to corporation, leaving their loyalties behind. We have organization, structure, and inevitably, politics. We have rulers, a people's assembly, and far removed from us, the Dowser, the inaccessible face of abundance. And finally, there's us, the elite protectors of the people, the spearhead of the army, my brothers and sisters who all share the same special gift. We are Technomancers.
Okay, so I decided to just not really talk over that intro so you guys could hear the cutscene the same as I could. And I have to say, I actually find the setting really intriguing. The whole idea of this being set on Mars and the wars being fought over water, which is a rare resource here on Mars, is a pretty good idea. It's also interesting that you're playing as an actual member of the military. It seems like this may have a bit of a Mass Effect vibe going on. So here we've got the character creation. It looks like you just toggle through a few preset faces rather than being able to directly customize the whole thing. I think we'll go with that face. In general, I like for my characters to be at least somewhat of a representation of what I look like. Of course, it's not going to be completely accurate because I don't have that kind of control over this, but let's see. Yeah, that's probably the closest to my actual hair. Let me think about that. Yeah, that's the side I part that on. Then we got hair color, blonde, there we go, and make the eyes blue. Neat. Okay, so I can't toggle through those things at the top. I think I just hit continue here. Yeah. So now we have the option of several talents. So it looks like charisma is going to be dialogue chance and companion damage. Science is contextual science actions, dialogue science, and life regen outside of combat, which could be very useful. I'll let you heal a companion during combat and restore a companion's life. Crafting is, of course, going to be dialogue crafting and using a workbench. Exploration is ingredients from dead creatures, searchable items get highlighted, and then components recovered. Okay, I don't really have the best idea of what all this means at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and move my cursor away. I'm using a controller right now. It's kind of weird that the cursor stays on the screen. Oh, lockpicking and traps seems like it might be my kind of thing. Or stealth and being able to steal items and sprint while stealthy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go into stealth and traps in general. Though I may take one rank in science eventually to get that increase in life regen, assuming that I get to take more talents, of course. Yeah, it says that I'll get my next point at 5th level. And attributes. So, Constitution seems pretty standard. Max health, resistance to disruption, which I suppose is probably your ability to not get interrupted. These look like they're all the same. You get the same bonus every time through. So, power is going to be spells and Technomancer gear. Agility is crits and poison. And strength is damage in hand to hand. Now, personally, I like the idea of the magic rogue. So I'm going to go ahead and take power and try to do a mage rogue hybrid. Weirdly enough, the game seems to have not registered my controller here, so I'm going to have to click confirm. The video hasn't been running for that long, so we'll just keep going at least until the first combat.
Wouldn't miss it for the world. Sure, my memory isn't what it, but I remember to write things down on my calendar. Although I do sometimes forget where my calendar. Anyhow, I knew your last cadet mission was today. Any nerves? If it's any consolation, you look more than fit enough.
No, I'm good. I'm ready.
Yes, healthy flush of the skin, no rapid eye movement. You don't look stressed out. Very well, I won't bother you anymore. Oh, but if I can bother you, just a moment. I recently acquired a batch of materials that can improve your gear. It's not much, but I thought you'd like it. Still can't believe you're going to be an officer soon.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, Scott. Means a lot.
Ah. I fear we've dilly-dallied on pleasantries. Your master, Sean, waits for you in the courtyard. So stiff, that one. I fear his spine is concocted from steel. A spine prosthetic. How interesting. What if... Oh, and stop by the clinic and come shoot the chit-chat. No, that's not... Just don't be a stranger. If you feel ill or need a hand, come see me. I'm always glad to help. Good luck, my boy.
Thank you, Scott. Will do. I promise.
So, the graphics seem not great, not terrible. I had everything cranked up because my computer's fairly powerful. But holy crap, that, like, the lip sync, man. Just, whoa. Okay, hold on. I think what's going on here is I need to go to controls options and switch to gamepad. There we go. Now it's registering and giving me the right prompts. That's my fault, not the game's really. It doesn't auto-detect, but still, I was in that menu. So the movement seems honestly a touch jarring. So pressing B there seems to have drawn my weapon. Holding RB brings up stances, and RB plus A sheaths. In any case, we do have a crafting menu here. Let's see, so these are things that I already have, I suppose, since it says upgrade. Okay, so this is where I would put different materials onto weapons. I like that it actually changes the appearance. Huh? But we'll table this for now, other than looking through it, because I don't really understand these systems. And those damage upgrades might be the thing to go for. Of course, even though I picked stealth, I'm not convinced you have to use the rogue style for that. Just based on the way that these seem to work. Ooh, so your gloves are actually a Technomancer equipment that you can also upgrade. That's interesting. Yeah, so I'm just wearing that cadet's gear. I can craft exploding traps. Go ahead and make one of those just to have, I suppose, see what's going on. But I'm not quite used to the way it controls.
I fix it, they break it again. I fix it, they break it worse. I'm a modern fucking Sisyphus tasked with pissing in the ocean.
Now, I have heard complaints from people about the voice acting, but that really didn't seem too bad. So the looting was automatic there. Those things just went into my inventory, which I suppose is nice. I like the animation for that. You know, admittedly this is a cutscene, so it's not likely that the combat's gonna look anywhere near this good. But I appreciate what they're doing here.
Oh shit.
Zachariah, today, as you know, marks your final mission as a cadet.
What is her
Trust you are
deal in the
prepared.
back
Of course,
there?
Master. Ready, willing, and
That
able.
person is not okay.
And a little nervous. Normal
I mean, I
and
get that
expected.
it's supposed to be that she's
That's why I have gathered
cold
together your
and
usual
shivering and
instructors to
puddling
allow you
over
to
the
warm up
fire,
and
but
prepare.
whoa, are
For you
those
to ace
not
the
normal
tests for
motions.
each fighting technique. Prepare yourself, and once you are ready, join me at the station. From there, a train will take us to the mission site.
Thank you, Master.
So here, it looks like we're going to be able to train in different styles of combat.
Who the hell swapped out my soldiers for you shit stains? Get it together, now!
I do like that everything seems to be voice acted.
You hearing me?
And talking to the guard apparently lets me learn fighting styles. I assume maybe they mean to
Want to
these
test your skills with a knife and
soldiers.
a gun? Not really in the rule book, so if you do, need to be discreet.
Let's do it.
I would like to train to use
Alright.
knife and gun. So this is going to be our first test of the combat. So, okay, so I can lock on,
Try anything.
and if I unlock, I can run around. So basic slashes are on X. Ooh, there's not a lot of tell on that. But I can, it looks like, cancel out of my action from any point during it. Which means that I'll be able to stop dead in the middle of attacks if I decide that I want to back off or roll around the enemy. Yeah, so shoot is on right trigger, which makes sense. And then we'll sheath the
Go
weapons.
again?
No, I think
Another
that's
time,
fine.
maybe.
Don't
I'll
underestimate
try
certain
out all
techniques,
the
or how much
stances, see
faster
how
you
I
can
like
be
them.
in combat with light weapons.
Now, me personally,
How
I'm a
about a
little
little
bit partial to
self-defense
that
training?
staff, but
Sure. Why
we'll try
not?
Mason Shield.
That's the spirit. Here we go.
So, switch to guard. So now instead of the roll dodge, I have just a small hop.
Try anything.
Now I can guard with the shield and advance on him, which he doesn't seem to be appreciative of. Okay, I can cancel out of attacks to guard in much the same way. Now I wonder if there's any kind of bonus to guarding, like with good timing. Wants me to dodge. Ooh, okay, so you don't become invincible at all when you dodge. You just move. So if the attack would still hit you, it still hits you. I don't seem to take any damage when I block with the shield. Ah, so there it is. You can definitely parry attacks with the right timing.
Care to go again?
That could be a very interesting
Maybe
fighting
later.
style if you get a
Your
good
call.
handle on
You're gonna
those
wish you had
parries.
some good defensive training though when you find yourself in trouble.
Now I do wonder if you just keep gaining
If you would like to
experience by
practice your
doing that.
technomancy techniques or care to do some staff training, I have time.
I'm
Train to
always
use the
honored to
staff.
learn what you have to teach.
Excellent.
Now this music is getting a little bit repetitive, I won't lie. So we've got fast attacks. Ooh. Disrupting attacks. So does this style have reliable interrupts? If so, that feels pretty nice. Yeah, it looks like I can lock an enemy down with those disrupting attacks.
Would you care to fight again?
It honestly does seem like
brush up on my technique, it never
potentially that the different
Indeed.
combat styles
Remember
could
to
flow
attend to your
together in a
surcharge
fight
list.
really well.
I would hate to have an accident.
Okay. Okay. So, I guess I can pick any stance for that. And electrify my weapon. Okay, I see. So I can bind that. Okay, so those take fluid to use. So like I thought, against a single enemy, you can lock them down quite well with that staff.
Prepare to fight again.
I would love to. Another time, Master. Thank you.
Of course. Keep in mind, a well-trained staff can be quite formidable. And as you know, the control over our technomancy is what makes us unique.
I'm not entirely convinced that what I'm doing is technomancy as much as, you know, being able to shoot freaking lightning from my hands. I mean, I guess somehow I'm controlling my gloves to do
Heard
that.
from Captain Sean you're heading out to the station. You leaving now?
Yes,
Yep,
I am
already
leaving.
ready.
So the combat didn't feel bad. Admittedly, when I got hit like that dude was a truck.
Stop right there. We're conducting a search.
Man, I do not look happy. You know, you'd think this is a big day for me, but
Laws, don't it? You forget we don't want your kind around here, Trav. Move your sorry ass out of here before you find yourself bleeding from both ends. I'm sorry. I didn't.
so they're attacking him for no reason at all.
Why would I want to hear what you have to say? Waste of space. Please, I did. Shut your mouth and just fucking die. Corpse will feed the rats. At least then you have a purpose.
Well, that was intense.
Such a waste of life. A waste of space. Am I right? A rogue is a Zach, right? You can dress him up, but...
Fuck off, Alan. Before I...
Zachariah, we're leaving. Certain people are graduating to the rank of officer today, while others aren't even worth the expense of their time or energy. Let us be off to more remarkable things.
So it seems like all of the Technomancers go by the last name Mancer, which is a little bit strange. I guess it's really more of a title, but it is odd that they don't seem to have proper last names. A lot of cutscenes in the front end here, which not necessarily a bad thing.
We are heading for the dome. It was built by the first settlers, a relic itself.
And what's there for us?
According to reports, looters, who in our interest, it would be best to keep out of the dome.
Okay, so we're gonna go fight some looters, I suppose. Wonder if there's anything down here. This kind of game usually rewards exploration, and well, looky there, a chest immediately. Yeah, I'll take all of that. So if I, okay, so those exploding traps are rigged up to my action bar now. I did read in the guide that clicking in the left stick is how you do
Do
stances.
you remember your first lesson?
On the scarcity of life?
Indeed, the very one. Kill a fellow unfortunate and, in this hell, only the more alone we will become. Disable the looters, but spare their lives.
So I'm curious what the repercussions are of, you know, actually killing these looters. Like, I wonder what actually happens to you if you kill them. Okay, so your stealth attack just kinda boops him. Okay. I'll kinda try out the different stances a little bit. Okay, so having my weapon electrified just stays the same way. So So the gun seems like it can overheat. Seems like maybe the thrust applies status effects, because it doesn't seem to do more damage. It is longer range. Ooh, I appear to have poisoned that enemy somehow. That's nice. I suppose I'll play the good guy and not drain them since, you know, my buddy's right here. But to be honest, I mean, if I actually get more serum from these guys, I don't really, and you know, I don't understand what the reason not to would be. Let's just zap these guys. Okay, so if I were to not electrify my weapon, I would gain more ability to use my Technomancy powers outside of melee. Okay. I'm liking this pretty well. I mean, honestly, I've heard a lot of things about the combat not being great, but it seems perfectly fine to me. I'm not having any troubles with this.
There.
I mean, admittedly, you don't, like, interrupt the enemies when you smack them. But, then again, you know, I mean, in Dark Souls, you don't. Admittedly, it's a little odd, at least to me, that my shield block is on, right trigger. But that's just, you know, because I'm so used to Dark Souls and having left trigger be my block in that. So I'm trying to back away from this looter, but yeah, that didn't work. They were just dead set on that path. Yes, so we're looking at the shield bashes are to disrupt enemies, while the light attacks are your actual damage dealers here. No item found, huh? Oop. Hello. This is a stealth opportunity if I've ever seen one. I'll just go up and give him the boop. Boop. That's so silly. Yeah, so it looks like if you parry correctly, they get knocked back and you don't, whereas both parties get knocked back from a poorly timed block. I'm not really sure which of these styles I like best right now, though. It seems like they all have pros and cons, and maybe the best idea really is to just switch between them. Now, I may also make decisions based on leveling up, which we can take a look at now. So there are 4 skill trees. I actually like that I can use my mouse for this part. So we got a Technomancer tree. Okay, so these are base abilities, I suppose. So that's gonna upgrade the electric arcs ability we have. What's up through here? Damage from gloves, actions after Technomancy, energy that can be recovered from the ground, chance of immobilizing a target, and overload that increases electrical damage is a capstone. So these are just gonna be your spells, your mage thing. Looks like the left side here is gonna deal with actual more like magic and you know, electrified attacks, whereas the right side is gonna be for melee combat. We'll go back into the tree and see what's over here. So Guardian has upgraded mace blows, counter attack in the event of a last second parry, you automatically attack. Okay. Then, that's interesting. And it seems like you can take this more times for upgrades, potentially. Better shield bash. Reduce enemy armor. And, damage resistance. Okay. The rogue tree gets, yep. Better attacks and looks like better crits. Passive dodge chance. Better shooting and rolling. Better thrust and explosive shot. So it does look like the idea would be that you need to spec into a tree. Just because of the fact that there's so much in each of them. I'm kind of looking at the major capstone abilities rather than any of the passive upgrades, but I think in general what I want to do is take Technomancer talents. Yeah, so you can then pick upgrades that further improve those abilities. But in general, I want to do this stealth mage idea that I talked about. So the plan is to upgrade my Technomancy and put talent points into stealth. Now I may not go all the way into that stealth tree. But honestly, yeah, this game feels fine. It feels pretty enjoyable to play.
Entrance. A lot of them, but they're not equipped to be more than a nuisance.
Take care nonetheless, Zachariah. That guard there, separated from his group. Sneak on him and the battle will be easily won.
So once again, the game... well, I guess not once again. It's once again for me because I already did stealth, but... in general, this is the first time that the game has prescribed stealth. Yeah, you better crouch down, friend. So we'll just give him the old zap. Block that and lay into him. Now I'm having a little bit of trouble, admittedly, getting used to the timing of enemy attacks. I can, like, very much turtle up here. But it seems like if I don't drop my guard and parry, they just do not let up. So maybe this isn't the right style. So switching to Rogue lets me be a lot more mobile and get away from enemies. Which pretty clearly has its benefits. Now since these two are close together and not looking at me, I'm going to try out the area attacks. So. Yeah, the cancels in this actually feel remarkably good. That freedom to stop whatever you're doing and cancel into a different move. We'll just finish him off with the Technomancy blast there. And search both of these guys. It seems to me that serum is gonna be our currency since like all of these guys have it on them. And if being bad gets you more currency, there's a solid chance that I'll just do that. Okay, so let's check out equipment. Seems like a pretty standard setup. So these have, I guess, different modifications that we're looking at here. I'm not gonna worry about those because I want the fluid regen from the cadet's jacket. But that seems like a pretty solid fluid system. This game's been getting mediocre reviews, and admittedly this is a first impressions video, but as of right now, the game feels fine to play. Fun, in fact. I wonder if I can do something really cheesy and silly here. The game won't let me target them until I climb down, which ooh, I did get the opportunity to sneaky sneak. We'll just come up here and boop. That's so ridiculous. That's one thing that I can't get used to, because it's just, I mean, you really just like barely tap them. Now I am liking the mobility on Rogue. Okay. Being able to just roll, get away from enemies, cancel out of everything extremely quickly is pretty satisfying. We'll switch to this style. Apparently, back attacking actually does improve damage. Or maybe that was just a random crit. Hard to tell for sure. Just some serum. It is a little bit ridiculous that these guys aren't dying, right? I mean, I'm very clearly shooting them and like electrifying them and doing things that people do not live through. Whoa, okay, so chests do not pause anything. So I had a little trouble locking on there. Yeah, they don't have enough of a tell on their attacks to, ooh, he pulled out a gun. So you can just block and trade with enemies, like a lot. Let's just give him the old zapperoo. Now the companion he took out an enemy by himself. But yeah, I'm not sold on the tank and spank in this game, which is odd because I usually prefer that. But the ability to dodge away on Rogue seems strong, as well as the ability of the staff to hit in an area seems pretty good. Okay, I have to have a point in agility to actually use this. So I'm gonna need to diversify my equipment, and again I'm gonna need to, or not my equipment, I'm gonna need to diversify my talent points, but I'm also, it seems like, definitely gonna need to specialize in like a style of combat. And Technomancy does seem weak right now, but I'm sure I'll get more abilities, not more abilities, more of those slots in the top left, more uses of my abilities as I go on. Okay. So as soon as I climbed down there, this fight started. Okay, gotta do something about you. He kicked me. Just kicked me. Nothing special about it, just whew. I wonder how many shots you get before you need to reload. 3, looks like. So staff it is. The range on some of the staff attacks is very nice too, when you lunge in. Being able to disrupt reliably is also very nice. Oddly enough, I just leveled up in the middle of combat. Now, I'm wondering if our friend here might not be actually unable to go down in this fight. Because he was out of health. And that does seem to be the case here, that health is very, very small and limited and precious. So what happens if I destroy that? I don't know that I got anything for destroying it. I don't know the two of them help me at all, but we leveled up once more. What do we want here? Now, warrior could get fast attacks on the staff, but I'm gonna stick to my guns and go into this Technomancy tree like 100%. I'm gonna say, you know, I want my, I want to be able to punch people real bad. Just electric punch sounds real cool. So if I, let's see, turn that off, open my pause menu, and say instead, I want to be able to electric fist. That's not what I said to do. I want to bind that there and then leave. Not enough fluid, of course, so I have to wait on that to recharge. Just a real short-range punch, then. Now, I'm not sure if that's worth it, and I don't know if you can respec in this game. Well, I mean, it just whiffed entirely right there, so that's not a good start. Did those guys just... That's a little janky. They de-aggroed in the middle of a fight there. Now let's see if I can give you the boop and then deck you. Honestly, I wish I could rebind blocking to another button. Now, okay, so this is gonna sound stupid, but I wonder about the efficacy of just, like, tap spamming the block button to farm parries. If that works out, then there may be a solid argument for, hold on, that reset you. I don't know what's happening right now. These enemies aren't responding properly. Now that is nice to be able to do, to just disrupt the enemy at close range. And that might be the option that I stick with. I do feel like we've shifted now out of first impressions into normal, like, you know, active gameplay commentary. And that's just on account of, you know, we're kind of past the point where everything's brand new. I've played games like this before, and, you know, it doesn't seem that different. I can save the game right here. I'm gonna do that, and we're gonna go ahead and just call it for this video because it's going kinda long. So yeah, I guess the next time you guys see me, I'll be loading up this save point to continue on with the Technomancer. Next time I see you, this won't be a what even is. This will be the Geometrist Plays. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. I'd love to hear the feedback on this first impression style video. And I'll see you guys next time.